which he and his disciples entered. Judas, his betrayer, also knew the place, because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Judas got a band of soldiers and guards from the chief priests and the Pharisees, and went there with lanterns, torches, and weapons. Jesus, knowing everything that was going to happen to him, went out and said to them,
"Whom are you looking for?"
They answered him,
Jesus the Nazarene.
He said to them,
"I am."
Judas, his betrayer, was also with them. When he said to them, "I am," he turned away and fell to the ground. So he again asked them,
"Whom are you looking for?"
They said,
Jesus the Nazarene.
Jesus answered,
"I told you that I am. So if you are looking for me, let these men go."
This was to fulfill what he had said, "I have not lost any of those you gave me." And Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it, struck the high priest's slave, and cut off his right ear. The slave's name was Malchus. Jesus said to Peter,
"Put your sword into its scabbard. Shall I not drink the cup that the Father gave me?"
So the band of soldiers, the tribune, and the Jewish guards seized Jesus, bound him, and brought him to Annas first. He was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was high priest that year. It was Caiaphas who had counseled the Jews that it was better that one man should die rather than the people. Simon Peter and another disciple followed Jesus. Now the other disciple was known to the high priest, and he entered the courtyard of the high priest with Jesus. But Peter stood at the gate outside. So the other disciple, the acquaintance of the high priest, went out and spoke to the gatekeeper and brought Peter in. Then the maid who was the gatekeeper said to Peter,
"You are not one of this man's disciples, are you?"
He said,
"I am not."
Now the slaves and the guards were standing around a charcoal fire that they had made, because it was cold, and were warming themselves. Peter was also standing there keeping warm. The high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and about his doctrine. Jesus answered him,
"I have spoken publicly to the world. I have always taught in the synagogue or in the temple area where all the Jews gather, and in secret I have said nothing. Why ask me? Ask those who heard me what I said to them. They know what I said."
When he had said this, one of the temple guards standing there struck Jesus and said,
Is this the way you answer the high priest?
Jesus answered him,
"If I have spoken wrongly, testify to the wrong. But if I have spoken rightly, why do you strike me?"
Then Annas sent him bound to Caiaphas the high priest. Now Simon Peter was standing there keeping warm, and they said to him,
"You are not one of his disciples, are you?"
He denied it and said,
I am not.
One of the slaves of the high priest, a relative of one whose ear Peter had cut off, said,
"Didn't I see you in the garden with him?"
Again, Peter denied it, and immediately the cock crowed. Then they brought Jesus from Caiaphas to the praetorium. It was morning, and they themselves did not enter the praetorium in order not to be defiled, so that they could eat the Passover. So Pilate came out to them and said,
What charge do you bring against this man?
They answered and said to him,
"If you are not criminal, we do not hang over you."
At this, Pilate said to them,
Take him yourselves and judge him according to your law.
The Jews answered him,
"We do not have the right to execute anyone."
in order that the word of Jesus might be fulfilled, that he said, indicating the kind of death he would die. So Pilate went back into the praetorium and summoned Jesus and said to him,
Are you the king of the Jews?
Jesus answered,
Do you say this on your own, or have others told you about me?
Pilate answered,
I am not a Jew, am I? Your own nation and the chief priests handed you over to me. What have you done?
Jesus answered,
My kingdom does not belong to this world. If my kingdom did belong to this world, my attendants would be fighting to keep me from being handed over to the Jews. But as it is, my kingdom is not here.
So Pilate said to him,
Then you are a king.
Jesus answered,
You say I am a king. For this reason I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice.
Pilate said to him,
What is truth?
when he had said this, he again went out to the Jews and said to them,
I find no guilt in him, but you have a custom that I release one prisoner to you at Passover. Do you want me to release to you the King of the Jews?
They cried out again.
Now Barabbas.
Now Barabbas was a revolutionary. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him scourged. And the soldiers wove a crown of thorns and placed it on his head, and clothed him in a purple cloak. And they came to him and said,
Hail, King of the Jews.
They struck him repeatedly. Once more Pilate went out and said to them,
Look, I am bringing him out to you, so that you may know that I find no guilt in him.
So Jesus came out, wearing the crown of thorns and purple cloak, and Pilate said to them,
Behold the man.
when the chief priests and the guards saw him, they cried out.
Crucify him, crucify him.
Pilate said to them,
Take him yourselves and crucify him. I find no guilt in him.
the Jews answered,
We have a law, and according to that law he ought to die, because he made himself the Son of God.
Now when Pilate heard this statement, he became even more afraid, and went back into the praetorium and said to Jesus,
Where are you from?
Jesus did not answer him. So Pilate said to him,
Do you not speak to me? Do you not know that I have power to release you, and I have power to crucify you?
Jesus answered him,
You would have no power over me if it had not been given to you from above. For this reason, the one who handed me over to you has the greater sin.
Consequently, Pilate tried to release him, but the Jews cried out,
If you release him, you are not friends with Caesar. Everyone makes himself king of those Caesar.
When Pilate heard these words, he brought Jesus out and seated him on the judge's bench in the place called the Stone Pavement, in Hebrew, Gabbatha. It was the preparation day for Passover, and it was about noon. And he said to the Jews,
Behold your king.
they cried out.
Take him away, crucify him.
Pilate said to them,
Shall I crucify your king?
the chief priests answered.
We have no king but Caesar.
Then he handed him over to them to be crucified. So they took Jesus, and carrying the cross himself, he went out to what is called the place of the skull, in Hebrew, Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with him 2 others, one on either side, with Jesus in the middle. So Pilate also had an inscription written and put on the cross. It read, Jesus the Nazarene, the King of the Jews. And many of the Jews read this inscription because the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city. And it was written in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. So the chief priests of the Jews said to Pilate,
Do not write King of the Jews, but as you said, I am the King of the Jews.
Pilate answered,
What I have written, I have written.
when the soldiers had crucified Jesus, they took his clothes and divided them into 4 shares, a share for each soldier. They also took his tunic, but the tunic was seamless, woven in one piece from the top down. So they said to one another,
Let us not fear, and our household is used of the weak.
in order that the passage of Scripture might be fulfilled that says, They divided my garments among them, and for my vesture they cast lots. This is what the soldiers did. Standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary of Magdala. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple there whom he loved, he said to his mother,
Woman, behold your son.
Then he said to the disciple,
Behold your mother.
and from that hour the disciple took her into his home. After this, aware that everything was now finished, in order that the Scripture might be fulfilled, Jesus said,
I thirst.
There was a vessel filled with common wine. So they put a sponge soaked in the wine on a sprig of hyssop and put it up to his mouth. When Jesus had taken the wine, he said,
"It is finished."
And bowing his head, he handed over the Spirit. Now, since it was Preparation Day, in order that the bodies might not remain on the cross on the Sabbath, for the Sabbath day of that week was a solemn one, the Jews asked Pilate that their legs be broken and that they be taken down. So the soldiers came and broke the legs of the first and then of the other one who was crucified with Jesus. But when they came to Jesus and saw that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. One soldier thrust his lance into his side, and immediately blood and water flowed out. An eyewitness has testified, and his testimony is true. He knows that he is speaking the truth, so that you also may come to believe. For this happened so that the scripture passage might be fulfilled. Not a bone of it will be broken. And again, another passage says, they will look upon him whom they have pierced. After this, Joseph of Arimathea, secretly a disciple of Jesus for fear of the Jews, asked Pilate if he could remove the body of Jesus, and Pilate permitted it. So he came and took his body. Nicodemus, the one who had first come to him at night, also came bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloes, weighing about 100 pounds. They took the body of Jesus and bound it with burial cloths, along with the spices, according to the Jewish burial custom. Now in the place where he had been crucified there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb, in which no one had yet been buried. So they laid Jesus there, because of the Jewish Preparation Day, for the tomb was close by. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Yesterday, I visited some of the sick in the parish in their homes, and one of my community calls expressed her dislike of Good Friday. It had nothing to do with fasting and abstinence. She just did not like the fact that Jesus was crucified on the cross. She protested. He didn't do anything wrong. Why did that have to happen to him? To be honest, the whole thought of it made her a bit sad. I tried to explain to her that it is precisely because Jesus was innocent that we call this day Good Friday. This is the day when the goodness of Jesus Christ, true God and true man, overcame the indifference, the malice, and all the sins of the human race. Because the innocent willingly died for the guilty, the sinless one for the sinners, the lamb for those who are dominated at times by wolf-like cravings. It's because of Jesus that we can be forgiven, be made new and live a different life, have the hope of heaven. The crucifixion of Jesus is a sad event, not so much because of his innocence, but because it was our guilt that made all of this necessary. And yet, by the mystery of the rejection of the human race of Jesus Christ and his crucifixion, God extends to us this and every day forgiveness and peace. And through Christ, he makes all things new. Better understand how God makes all things new, and to better understand today's gospel reading, likeness and proclaim that we were very good. And so that people could freely, without compulsion, love God, he gave them a command. Do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now we know what happened. Both the woman and the man ate that fruit. Their eyes were opened. They experienced both good and evil, having broken God's law. They were commanded to leave the garden. Death became our destiny, toil, our earthly occupation. That's the back. We'll fast forward now to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And here we discover the undoing of original sin. Yes, there is a tree, but it forms the cross for execution. Yes, because of the love and obedience of the Son of God, this tree bears a different kind of fruit. People can eat the fruit of this tree and be forgiven. People can take the fruit of this tree and be washed clean. People can take the fruit of this tree and receive a new destiny, eternal life. They live with a new hope. We can have peace, not based on the changing circumstances of this world, but on Christ who overcame the world. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil is replaced by the tree of the cross. The original Adam is replaced by Jesus Christ. The original Eve is replaced actually by two. First, the Blessed Virgin Mary, whom Jesus addresses woman, not mother, not married woman, even as the original woman was called. And Eve is replaced in a sense by the church. Just as Eve was formed out of the side of Adam while he slept, so we, the church, are born from the side of Jesus as he slept his death on the cross. Why? Because we are the people washed by that water that flowed from the side of Christ. We are the people nourished by the blood and body of Christ. We are the people who are now the bride of Christ. We, the church. Just as Adam and Eve were expelled from the garden, so Jesus was buried in a garden. And praise God, would rise from the dead so that he can communicate to the human race this new life. And the world can be made anew again. Now someone may say, Father, this sounds all about the good. Where is this power, this new life, this mercy that Jesus Christ won for us? Well, hopefully we don't have to look too far. We can see it in us, in our own hearts, in our own lives. We who sincerely believe the Lord. And it's transforming the world, one soul, one family, one community, parish, one, dare I say, country at a time. Now I, too, read the news. And I know that Islamic militants killed 147 people at a college in Uganda just yesterday or the day before. I hear that water will soon be rationed to the people living in Southern California because they're experiencing a severe drought. I know that many people suffer because of illness, others because of prejudice, others because of unjust working conditions, and the list goes on and on. The ripple effects of the original sin, compounded by our own personal sins, go on in our world for sure. But in spite of the evil in the world, Jesus Christ is Lord, and his goodness purpose is evident in many, many ways. I was reflecting on the very first chapter of Matthew Kelly's book, Rediscovering Catholicism. And he remarks that many of our minds are simply drawn to the brokenness of the church. And perhaps most of us, because we see and know so much bad news that happens in the world, we gravitate to that first and foremost. But we need to remember that Jesus Christ, through his people, and in a particular way through the Catholic Church, feeds tens of millions of people each day. Because of Jesus Christ, and through the Catholic Church and other churches, we form the largest healthcare network in the world, bringing healing, comfort, and blessing to millions of people. Dare I say billions? Because of Christ, the church promotes education, not just for the elite, not just for one gender, but for all people, so that we can all be elevated and know Christ and know how to live in a freer, more whole way in this world, a more human way. Because of Christ, sinners are forgiven. People are converted from their sinful, selfish, and violent ways. People learn to lay aside grudges and prejudices and fears and grow in charity toward one another. People can be different because of Christ. Because of Jesus Christ, people have a new destiny. Death does not have the last word. Yes, Jesus went before us in death, but he's raised from the dead and promises us eternal life. I would not want to live in a world without Jesus Christ. I am deeply grateful to having come to know him. I hope you are too. I can't imagine what life would be like without him. We gather today to venerate the cross of Jesus Christ, and for those who are able to partake of the Eucharist, the fruit of the cross, let us do so with great faith, with great gratitude, with great love. Jesus gives us his grace through the cross. Even now he thirsts for our love. This day, made good by the goodness of Jesus Christ, is our hope. Looking to him who died and rose from the dead to save us, let us ask Jesus to make us witnesses